Hey, what's up there? This is Cody, and I've got a fantastic video for you guys today. It's something I want to talk about that's very important on the chart you see before you. But before we get to that, be sure to subscribe, be sure to hit that like button, and be sure to follow me on Twitter or Threads. So what we have here is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And the Bitcoin dominance chart, basically Bitcoin's share of the crypto market cap, has been in an uptrend ever since the beginning of the year, from about January of 2023. And we can see here that it's actually been fairly steep. Now, it went all the way down here from about 38%, and it found a heavy resistance point here at 52%. Now, what we're starting to see is a conflict that happens between the uptrend here, the uptrend support, and the resistance level here at 52%. Now, Bitcoin is either going to get rid of the support here and fall below this uptrend, meaning that we're going to wind up seeing a complete destruction of the uptrend, or we're going to see it push higher at this point and move past resistance here at 52%. And this is a level that I've been watching for the past couple of months. Bitcoin dominance is incredibly important when we talk about the market, because as Bitcoin dominance increases, the altcoins tend to go down. And as Bitcoin dominance decreases, altcoins tend to go up. So this can tell us an awful lot about altcoins and the state of the crypto market. And right now, we're basically at support at about 49.5%. So definitely something that's worth keeping an eye on. And if this does actually wind up breaking through this support level here, we could see an increase in the altcoins and corresponding altcoins, things like Ethereum, things like Cardano, and others, XRP, Solana, etc. And I want to compare this to our Ethereum dominance chart as well. Ethereum dominance, as you can see here, has a kind of a similar presentation, especially of how I've drawn the uptrend here. And this is just like with your Bitcoin dominance. This is a long uptrend. In fact, this one goes back to about 2020, January of 2020, and it seems like now it's just moving sideways, but the support for this area is about 19%, with resistance being here above 20.5%. So if Bitcoin dominance takes a big hit, it's entirely possible that we'll wind up seeing more inflows to altcoins, more inflows to stablecoins, and altcoins like Ethereum. Now, as for our Bitcoin chart TA, Bitcoin right now hasn't really done much, but it's kind of hanging on for its life here. We're going to zoom in here a little bit. We're going to see that the support levels right here, about 29,700, are holding for the moment. However, it seems like we've seen several wicks through this support level. So what we could wind up seeing here in the near term is it actually moving lower. I'm going to go ahead and put up our RSI here. RSI on the daily is only 48, so it's not overbought nor oversold. But Bitcoin is at an incredibly important point right now, and that is it's either going to consolidate between these two blue lines that I have here, or it's going to fall out the bottom of the support here at 29,700, and it's going to go much lower. I think it could go all the way down to about 28,000, or maybe get bought up just before it hits 28K. That seems like it would be very likely to me, and if we wind up seeing it push below these levels. So, and if that happens, I'm interested in buying it below what we see here, maybe to around 28K, somewhere in that region, as we see Bitcoin capitulate. Now, if it holds this level, that's also very good. And if it holds this level, then we have to see it push up to the resistance line I have drawn in here at about 30,300. And then it has a chance to come back up here and challenge the 31,400 level and get into this huge area of liquidation. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the updated liquidation map, because things have changed a little bit since Bitcoin pushed into this region here back on the 13th of July. We have it here on Decentrader, and again, you can get this one for free, but this is your Bitcoin liquidity map. So as we can see here, there's quite a bit of space in between the longs and the shorts. what we have here is the shorts are going to be in this orange and red and yellow, and then we have the longs in this blue and green and purple. And so the actual liquidation levels start here at about 31,800, and there's a huge level here at 31,900. So as we get closer to 32,000, we can see a large number of short positions opened up in this region that would be liquidated all the way from 32,000 here to about 34 or 35,000. Now, on the other side, if we take a look at longs, the most significant long liquidation levels are going to be below 23,000. So 23.6. Anything below that region, we could see significant long liquidation. So again, I think things are more skewed in favor of the bulls, as the short liquidation levels are much closer than the long liquidation levels are right now. And we used to have a huge patch of the short liquidations at about 31,500, but those all got taken out in the last rally. Now, we're going to also talk about Bitcoin's historical returns for the month of July. Normally, July is a very strong month for Bitcoin, but it seems like this month we're down about 2% so far, and it has been very disappointing. Now, what we've seen here usually is when you have a red July, you also tend to have a red August as well. We've seen here at 2019 where it happened like that, in 2016 where it happened like that, and then 2014 where you had back-to-back red months. So if July is a red month this month, then I would also expect that August is probably going to be a red month as well, because that's kind of the historical pattern that we have to go. But that being said, there's plenty of time left in July. If it can flip green just barely, then we could potentially avoid a red August, though August is usually a really bad month for Bitcoin, along with September as well. August and September are both seasonally some of the worst months for Bitcoin. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our futures market. So futures are showing us some very interesting activity over the past couple of days. We've seen significant liquidations here on yesterday as the market opened here at about 7. And we're seeing a very kind of muted response today. It seems like there's not a lot of volume going on in the market. And if we take a look at open interest hasn't really risen that much today. It's been mostly sideways, so there's not really a lot of contracts being opened or closed at this point. And we're starting to see, for the most part, according to our funding rates, that longs are still dominant. However, it seems like it's more of a default kind of position, and they're not aggressively entering into new long futures contracts. So right now, it seems like today is just kind of a whatever type of day. Maybe people are taking the day off, or they're waiting to see what happens next week. And next week is going to be a absolutely crazy week. I'm gonna make a whole video on it, but there are some big events happening next week that you guys need to be aware of. So if you're interested in seeing that video, if you want to make sure that you catch that video, be sure to subscribe, and I will have that video out soon. Now, another important thing I want to talk about is the U.S. government selling 8,200 Bitcoin on-chain. And this right here is, again, money taken from that Silk Road exchange, and they sold 8,200 Bitcoin. This is back in the 12th of July. So if we go back and take a look at our Bitcoin chart, we can see that it happened about here or so on this day. But it is entirely possible that it might have been sold a day before or a day afterwards, and it would make sense if it were, because that Thursday we had a huge spike in volume here. But there are multiple Bitcoin that are still on the U.S. government balance sheet, right? The government still holds 195,000 Bitcoin. So it's entirely possible in the future that we could wind up seeing more selling as well. But this information is usually published as it happens, and it's something that we will be watching out for, and I'll be looking out for some important information on these government sales. Now, I also want to go ahead and talk about the NVT Golden Cross. This gives us an idea of tops and bottoms. I haven't talked about this quite in a couple of videos, but there's not much going on with the NVT Golden Cross, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about what I do see so far, and that is that it's kind of in the middle of the range right now. It's not indicating a top, nor is it indicating a bottom, and so there's room to move either way, according to the NVT Golden Cross. Now, I also want to talk about the Bitcoin SOPR as well. Bitcoin SOPR is just barely above 1, so people that are selling right now are still selling in profit. This is still a good sign as far as I'm concerned, because if they're selling in profit, that means that they aren't incurring significant losses. And we've seen that since the beginning of the year, apart from this huge dip here in March, that it's mostly been above this one line, and it's mostly been sellers in profit. Now, I also want to go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin and Crypto Fear and Greed Index. This is very interesting because now we're actually in the fear category. We're in fear territory. Normally, over the past month, you can see here based on the historical data, over the last month, we've been in pretty extreme fear, or we've been in extreme greed, or just greed. And now we're actually starting to get into the fear category, the fear camp. And I think that this right here is actually a good sign for people who are interested in increasing their Bitcoin position. I'm waiting for this fear level to kind of dip a little bit more, and especially if we can get to extreme fear, that's when I'd be very excited to add to my Bitcoin position. Now, let's go ahead and talk about our Ethereum chart TA. So Ethereum, kind of in a similar situation to Bitcoin. The RSI is on the 49 on the daily. So again, it's not overbought, nor is it oversold. And it's in the middle of a range right now from here about 1858 here to about 1934, and it's kind of moving sideways. Not really a big day for Ethereum as well. We're not seeing much volume coming in compared to the last couple of days, and I don't expect much volume over the weekend, so don't be surprised if we stick within this range for the next couple of days. Now, we're also going to go and talk about our total market caps. So total market caps are still sitting above 1.2 billion, 1.2 trillion of total crypto market cap. And we've seen here that the market cap has just kind of gone up just a little bit. And what we're seeing in the altcoin space is that altcoins have moved sideways for the past couple of weeks. Not really much action happening there. And the stablecoin market cap continues to fall, even to a level we haven't seen in some time, at least a yearly low. If we take a look at the all-time, we can see that the last time it was actually at these levels was back in October of 2021, right in the middle of the bull market. So stablecoins seem to have peaked back in May of 2022, and it's all been basically downhill from there so far. So it just seems like more and more people are exiting their stablecoin positions and either exiting the market completely, or they're buying Bitcoin and buying altcoins instead. Now, what's honestly kind of strange here is to see the DeFi market cap chart go up. So if we stretch this out a little bit, we can actually see that the DeFi market cap is where it was back in June, but it's been actually having a last couple of weeks has been very good for DeFi, and it seems as though this will continue to move higher as people get more and more involved in DeFi. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this information and the data that I put out here. Are you guys interested in seeing more liquidity maps? Are you interested in looking at futures contracts or the annual or monthly returns for Bitcoin? If you guys want me to talk more about Ethereum, definitely interested in hearing about that as well. And again, just remember that I have a new video that I'm going to be working on talking about the important events coming out next week. This is a video that you guys do not want to miss. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video.